Welcome back, everybody. This is Jeff here, sitting out in sunny Arizona. I'm sorry for those back east. I'll probably going to be back east sooner rather than later, but we'll see. But enjoying the weather that as I get the opportunity, enjoy whatever you can each and every day. Find a highlight, go in and enjoy it. Today's video, I'm going to build on my last video. Let's see if I can get the right hand. I think it's this one. That's up there on YouTube. It'll be linked up here. I don't know where it'll be in the description. But I just made a video about banking and history in the United States and try to keep it under 10 minutes. Not the easiest thing. If you liked how I did it, leave a comment and share it and all that good stuff. But today I'm going to talk about Fort Knox, blockchain, and Bitcoin. And I'll also touch on a new category in blockchain called RWA, or real world assets. I'm going to go into all that. Again, keeping it 10 minutes or less. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, subscribe. Also going to put it up not just on YouTube anymore, but also trying to get it up in Rumble and X. I'm a one-man band, so I'm trying to get it all out there. Just making some videos today, one step at a time. So first off, what happens if they go and audit Fort Knox? Which they're going to do. Like they keep, we have Trump, we have Elon both saying that we're going to do it. We're going to live stream it. We're going to go in there. It's going to be like Geraldo Rivera, but better when they open up Al Capone's vault. So they go in there. If you remember that, leave a 3 down in the comments that you watched that. You wasted 2 hours of your life watching that nonsense on Fox. Anyway, gold. There's 4 outcomes that can happen when they look inside of Fort Knox. It's empty. They have some, but not all. They have just the right amount, or they have extra. Now, these last 2, highly unlikely that they have extra. Could happen. They could have. I've heard rumors that they're repatriating gold for the last several years, pulling it back from Europe and the Vatican because of Basel III. Now, you don't know what Basel III is. That basically, they changed the international banking to make gold on the same par as cash, which is the top level asset, very liquid, very worthwhile holding. That's why a lot of central banks are holding it, not just because they don't believe in the currencies anymore, which they shouldn't, because they're backed by nothing. The dollar hasn't been backed by anything except the faith in the government itself since 1971. So that's when Nixon took us off the gold reserve. So what happens in these 4 different scenarios? Let's take the 2 in the end because they're easiest. There's extra or there's right amount. Well, they audit it. It's there. That's great. We got enough. We need to figure out how to keep an inventory going forward. And there's a category, like this is where blockchain will get in be mentioned. And Elon knows about this. Trump's learning. Lots of other people know about. Howard Lutnick knows about this, of the Secretary of Commerce. You basically tokenize the real world asset. Now, it gets complicated. I'll probably have to make a video on real world assets itself because it's not the purest way to do it. But what they could do is take a moment in time, take a snapshot, serialize the bars, however they're going to do it. It'd be smart to turn it, tokenize it and actually put a private, turn it into a collectible. But neither here nor there. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to inventory it, put the inventory on the public ledger, and let everybody say, here, we have 5,000 tons of gold. Here's the number of bars that we have. I think there's 5. I don't know how many bars. I think the math is very difficult when you do gold and silver because 14 ounces roughly makes a pound, not 16, because they use troy ounces, not the old. It's a legacy thing. It's a very strange how it came to be a troy ounce. In any event, okay, so you got the 2 out. You inventory it. You got extra. You get the right amount. You inventory it. Now you got to keep that inventory up to date because just because you put it on the blockchain once doesn't mean people can't move bars around or lease them or move them around. That's the problem with doing it real world asset like that. But those would be 2 great outcomes. Now, what about the other 2? We were short or we don't have any. This would scream theft issues, problems, find where did the gold go. Doge would dig into it. I'm sure they'd find it. Probably central banks have it. It would also probably lead to revaluing gold much more, but also where else do we have gold? Now, there's lots of rumors that there's like over 90% of the Grand Canyon you can't go to anymore. Lots of rumors that there's lots of gold hidden in lots of places in the Grand Canyon. There's also other places around the U.S. which has gold, especially Alaska, but it's not, the price of gold is not high enough for it to be profitable for companies to dig into. That's the funny thing about precious metals, especially silver. It's like you don't dig unless it's going to be a profitable business. That's just the way you do business. So you're out there and you see that the price of gold is $2,000 an ounce. Well, you do the math, and maybe I can't open up this mine, but at 3,000 I can, at 4,000 I can, and so on. So as the price goes higher, more people will be mining, kind of like Bitcoin mining. But if we have not enough or none at all, now we're going to probably have to invoke the Bitcoin standard or strategic Bitcoin reserve, find more reserves, revalue gold. All those different things are now very much in play. And it actually would expedite the use of Bitcoin, because if we don't have as much gold as we allegedly have, we got to hunt it down, there's a chance we may not actually ever get that much gold anymore. So now we got to look at other assets to back our currency and back our monetary system with, which Bitcoin and silver are probably going to be the two leading candidates. So we were originally on a silver standard more than once. We had silver backed when Kennedy launched it in '63, lasted for a few months. And then tragedy happened in Dallas in November. And then, I think the greenbacks were backed by silver. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Lincoln, that was his monetary go-to as well. So we've been a bimetallic standard in the U.S. since 1792, as defined by gold and silver. A certain number of grains equals one constitutional dollar. That's how they're defined. But the Federal Reserve flies right in the face of that. So it's really unconstitutional. So a lot can change when they do this audit. So doing this audit, it's good for blockchain. It gets blockchain mentioned in the public conversation. Is it the best use case of the blockchain? No, but it is a use case. It will allow them to say, okay, we've done our inventory, we put it up on the blockchain, and that's a good snapshot. That's great. The problem is that the gold is still centralized, allegedly, in that one place, and people can change things after the inventory's been done. So that's why things like blockchain with Bitcoin's application, when you move Bitcoin and it settles, that's the transaction and the settlement. You don't have to do re-inventory because the transaction settles it. You don't have to balance it. Like, even right now with banking, the Bank of International Settlements, their goal is every quarter or so they meet and say, okay, London, you owe China this much gold, and Bank of England knows this much, and Bank of China, Germany, Europe, all these different players, they settle their books, and then they make they're supposed to make the arrangements for the gold to go from A to B, go to London or to COMEX or New York or Tokyo, wherever it needs to go to balance things out. Hasn't happened for a while because they move the paper, they don't move the actual assets. That's changed since Basel III, and that's making everyone pay attention to gold and where it is. And the blockchain can help with that. But the real-world asset of a blockchaining a real-world asset has problems to it. I'll take that to another video. I'll leave it there for now. Looking forward to reading all your comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.